Hello, and welcome back to Self-Critical, where a group of agoraphobic friends come together to RP, actually going outside. I'm your humble dungeon master, Andy Purcell, and this is once again our hapless heroes. Say hello, hapless heroes.
Hello, hapless heroes.
Last we left off, the party had decided to split up to accomplish as many objectives as possible. Two of them went with Candlefoot to Siren Song Lake to talk to Palasha, and two of them went to retrieve the guest list to see who bought those tickets for them. Our rogue Dahlberg.
Rogue.
Oh man,
Ranger.
Our ranger. I just realized all of the names on the UI are ruined. You know, I'm just gonna see if I can move those around while I'm talking. Why not? Our ranger Dahlberg decided to sneak in to the ticket booth and retrieve that guest list, which he did. Do you recall the name on that guy who bought those tickets for you?
Ellywick Tumblestrum.
That's right, Ellywick Tumblestrum.
Yes, names.
And as you guys were leaving that scene, you happen to have seen Ellywick Tumblestrum stepping into place to get the attention as you were walking away. You were kind of thinking about maybe talking to them. As it was seeming important, there was an eruption of a purplish custard. It was like a geyser erupting and just splattering everyone in the vicinity, including themselves. You were just out of that radius, and you were kind of deciding what you were going, if you were going to continue going to Lost and Found or pursue this now custard-covered bard.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna take that opportunity to try to stealth for the moment. And let me roll that. That's 21.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'm going to see about picking that axe up that landed, that got thrown.
That axe has already been retrieved.
Aww.
Yes. Having nearly killed two people, one of them being a child, it was immediately thrown, a body of a frail witchlight carnival person flung themselves upon it, and then they couldn't even pick it up, right? So like two other people came to help, but you see that is out of play at the moment.
All right, then. I'll whisper over to what's her name again?
His name is
Thunderstout.
Thunderstout.
Yeah, we've never actually introduced each other's names.
We
Yeah,
haven't.
Yes, we have.
Kind of, but
We
let
did
Thunderstout know that. All right, hey, that dude over there, the bard, he's the one that paid. I'm gonna go talk to him right quick and see if.
I'm not really sure she'd be okay with you calling her a he, but you know, nowadays it's a little weird, but I gotcha. I'm gonna go to Delagar.
Yeah, I can catch up with you right there with that.
I'm going to need you to give me a perception check, as everything is custard with shapes.
Looking for the one that's got the instrument in their hand. 19 plus 5, so 24.
24. You see what looks like the smallest shape covered in custard, with a in the center of attention, in the center of this geyser, with that high of a roll. I'm going to say that you can see, like, almost immediately, like, it seems like half of the custard magically just sort of dissipates off of her. Some of it's still there, maybe for effect. Who knows? But right there, center of attention, in the middle of all this custard is Ellywick Tumblestrum. I'm going to say she's about 30 feet away from you.
All right, I'll just kind of ease up kind of to her, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, and say, hey, can I talk to you for a moment?
She sees you walking right up. You are very obvious in the fact that you are not covered in custard where everything else is.
Wouldn't
At
you still
least-
be stealth?
At least you
Yeah,
seem
I did
obvious
stealth,
to
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yes, you did roll a very high stealth. However, as you came up to her, it seems like she was aware of you coming up to her.
Yeah.
As good as you are. And she seems absolutely. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Just curious.
Please, let's kind of step away. It's
Yeah, please. Just walk with me, if you don't mind.
Sure, yeah.
All right, we'll start going towards Thunderstep, towards Dorlagar.
Okay.
Yeah. And as we get out of earshot, say, I appreciate the tickets, and so does my buddies here that you paid for. I was curious as why you did that.
As you say that, she gives you like a very obvious like, oh yeah, I was wondering if you guys would have picked up on that. You know, you guys just seem to have a destiny about you. I feel it, and I feel it in my strings as you see her on her lute. Let's just say that you are exactly where you need to be right now. With
Gotcha.
another big old wink.
So, I'll ask it. As you're saying that, can I run you some ideas of what we're thinking about doing right now? If it sounds like the path we should be on right now, or should we be looking at something a little different? And
How close are you to them in this moment?
we're
How
walking towards.
close are you to them in this moment? They said they were gonna catch up. Do you let them catch up? Are you still, you just kind of going straight there? Do you kind of wait for them?
I'm gonna say I'm still a little bit ahead of them.
Okay. She goes, yeah. The Calliope music stops. For you.
Mm-hmm.
It's still playing for you. What do you have to say?
What?
We're gonna cut away from that. So you've made your way over to Lost and Found.
Time stopped.
Durlagar is there. What do you have to say? It seems like they're catching up. They haven't quite made it there yet, but you look like they're still on their way.
So Delagar isn't here?
Durlagar is there.
Okay. I introduced myself saying, hey, Delagar. I really need to talk to you. We might have some information about your missing son.
Immediately, Durlagar looks around to see, like, scanning the area. You're talking about very serious stuff. Durlagar seems, immediately. What do you have to say? How can I help?
Are we safe to talk in here right now?
You see that there are no people currently in Lost and Found. This seems to be a safe place. They seem to have not quite caught up yet, so it's just the two of you.
We've come across, unfortunately the circus's, disruptive person, Kettlestein. We have found her, but through her we've gained enough information to find out that there's this coven that's taking things, and it could been, and that's tried to, in front of us, also tried to steal a man entirely itself. So we have a feeling they have something to do with your child being stolen. And with your help, we'd like to somehow come out with a plan. We're making a group to come back and all together come up with a plan to get more information out of Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. If you'd be willing to come with us and help us.
When you mention, speak of a coven, you don't even need to try to read her body language. Her heart sinks like the idea of not just like a witch, but a coven of witches kidnapping her child. That seems to be the most horrible thought a mother could have.
And there was some kid with the person, when we saw the person almost getting kidnapped or walking through the mirror in the Hall of Mirrors, it was a kid with a pig mask on. If that does ring a bell or not.
You see Durlagan, like, almost gasping, begin to say, and like not finish what she was about to say. If you're not sure, you could roll an insight check to try to figure out what she was about to say as she just sort of breathed out,
Yep. Proficiency in
thinking
it.
heavily.
That's not going to help. I got a 3 plus 5.
Yeah, an 8. She seemed to just sort of gasp, not really knowing what to say really in mentioning that. But she, what can I do to help? And as you're thinking about that, we're going to cut back to Siren Song Lake. There is Palasha, there is Candlefoot. Every time that Palasha speaks, you see, like Candlefoot just being here amongst her voice just brings life to his presence. He seems like an actual happy person for the first time. And if there are ever breaks in her speech, if there's just silence, he'll kind of start going back to those muted colors. So, what are you asking of them to do? What information or task or what?
Well, like we said, we need to get back with the rest of the group and work out a plan. We just was told you could help. I feel like if we get Candlefoot's voice back, it may help y'all's relationship even further.
Indeed. I would greatly love for him to have his voice back. I have missed him. The life of a mime is challenging for one who wishes to hear his voice. And I have not heard it in so long.
Well,
It would be a wonderful thing. Anything I can do to help.
well, if you don't mind coming to us, our group should be coming back from the Lost and Found pretty soon. We should be able to meet up in the middle, and we can go from there. You're not going to be the only one helping us with this.
I think I have some time. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Not at the moment yet.
Okay. So as the four of you begin making your way, sort of getting ready to go, you also remember that the assigned gathering spot was nearer to the mystery mine where you had initially met Candlefoot. So you kind of work your way over there.
Yeah.
To the left, to the left.
We'll cut back to Dahlberg. Everything's still sort of happening around you, but the distractions of the carnival have gone away. And it just seems to be you and Ellywick here. What do you have to say?
I ask, looking at Mr. Light and, what's his name again?
Mr. Witch,
Witch.
Mr. Light.
Mr. Yeah. So we can tell from what we've gathered that they're having to let stuff go on that they have no choice about if they want to keep this place going, aka things or people go missing. It's like something is offered up or basically sacrificed just so they can keep going. Are we on the right track with this?
The Feywild is a funny place. I do enjoy going there from time to time. It makes for great stories. This carnival is part of the Feywild. Time's kind of a funny thing in the Feywild. You know, it could be a day, might have been an hour, oops, could have been a century. You know, it helps to be able to keep track of time with Feywild things. as she seems to produce a little pocket watch that she never really had before and checks it, puts it back. You guys definitely are on the right track, and your timing does seem to be at pace at the moment. You may just need to find a way to have a little bit more of that time on your hands.
Any advice on getting that time on our hands? Or?
Well, there's only so many ways a pair of eyes can look. Distractions are always a fun opportunity. But then again, how many eyes are we talking about? You guys just want you want what do you want to do? This is your path.
Should we directly confront them while the big top's going on, while we got at least one of them by themselves, so we can at least hopefully rattle them?
You see the most adorable grin grow across her face as she says, "Darling, you are adorable. For someone so stealthy, you are so direct. You know, I think your talents lie best in observation.
Watch things
You know,
play
I
out.
think you kind of start to hear the sound of calliope and carnival music come back. I think it's getting close to the big top event. You know, I am a mess. I really should go find somewhere to wash off. You know, you should catch up with your friend. I'm sure we'll meet up soon." As she seems to just sort of step off, if you'd like to try to say anything, you can, but it seems like the distraction of the carnival has come back, and you seem to be right there beside your friend, Thunderstout, and Erlagon. It seems like you blink and she's already kind of out of distance, blurring away.
Continue with
They're right there,
Thunderstep.
like, oh, what?
Shit.
Where? He's right there.
I'll tell Thunderstep, all right, I'm here, I'm back. We'll talk in a minute and let you finish handling Beauregard.
Yeah. So, you guys have talked to Durlagon, and you know that the general meetup spot is over by the Mystery Mine. What would you like to do?
I just talked to him about it.
So, you're just gonna ready to head on over?
Yeah, but
Okay.
tell her to come with us, or ask her if she'd be willing to come with
She
us.
puts up a little temporary closed sign,
And
and you guys start making your way over towards
And
the
as
tent over by the Mystery Mine.
as we're walking over there, ask her, do you think of anybody else that could help us? We have Candlefoot, maybe his girlfriend, and what was the brute's name?
Burley.
We kind of have Burley on our side, but he's not.
Kettlestein.
He can't do anything too much. But any other staff that you could think that could maybe?
As she begins to think about who could possibly help in this moment, in the void of that silence, you can't but help be filled with the sound of the ever-present calliope music that is just nearby, and the sounds of a goblin asking for buttons. Give me a perception check.
11 plus perception is wisdom, so the 12.
Would I be also looking or no? Those are not there.
Sure.
Basically, he failed.
Maybe.
But
we're
since-
looking at stuff right now.
Since he gets one, you get one with advantage.
Well, yeah, I can just give it to you as advantage.
No,
as well.
since you get one, he gets one with advantage. So
Yeah, mine's gonna be 12.
We're going with 12.
All right, yeah. So with a
Yeah.
12, what now stands out from just the goblin lady asking for buttons is you hear what sounds like a middle-aged man singing about buttons. It's almost like a like an old 50s, like Frank Sinatra-ish, like, you know, spare a button if you please. I'll sew it next to these. I offer nothing in its place besides a smile upon my face.
I go to bring. I still have the buttons on me, so
You do?
I go to the goblin and give her them and say, "Hey, I found the person. I found your buttons that were stolen."
As you go to hand them to her, her face lights up, seeing
Yep.
a handful of buttons, and she immediately motions over to the monkey that is turning the calliope crank. And you can tell that this middle-aged man's voice is coming from that monkey. He is, you don't know why, but he has got the pipes of a great singer. Those little monkey teeth light up as he is so happy to see this handful of buttons. And you see one hand immediately reach out, like hoping to just get at least an A button, whatever you're willing to hand him as he's turning the others. As you hand him, like the biggest, prettiest button that he immediately grabs, like you see just like a spot, like the buttons on his vest, he's just got the best buttons. It's like they shift a little bit and make room for the button that you gave him, and they just sort of sew themselves back on, like onto place. And it's just a special little moment that you have with him, as he is so happy, and he thanks you, and in the same old middle-aged man voice. Thank you. This means so much to me. And the goblin lady, dressed up in the ladybug outfit, walks up, and you see her put him in like this different chain. It's more of a pot now instead of a cup with a handle. And she lets you put that so you can put them in. Okay.
Like I said, we found most of them, but that's all I had. And I thought to bring them back to y'all.
Thank you so much. I will remember this. May this button always be a part of you. As you just, in this, the absence of anything being said, you just hear the ever-present calliope music. Ever on. Ever keeping tune. And then you realize that everyone else has walked away.
Yeah.
And you probably want to catch up with them.
I'll catch up with the group.
Yeah. Shortly thereafter, Thunderstout shows up, slightly less jangly. Sans button. You guys have made your way over to the tent near the mystery mine. And you see, like, there's no one there at the moment. But shortly thereafter, there's a dude that kind of shows up that you're like, I really wish this guy would kind of like leave, but then it's like, oh, it's Kettlestein. So, like, she drops the voice. Actually, no, she doesn't drop the voice. She's just there, and she she keeps the visage, but mimics sounds of other people talking to represent that she's there.
Okay.
So, what would you all like to do?
Who's going to say something first?
I look at Kelston and be like, don't use the voice. Don't use it.
Yeah.
With everybody here, tonight we plan on getting information. Somehow, out of witch or light, doesn't matter, but we have information that Mr. Witch will be by himself at one point during the Big Top event. if it's some way possible, we need to get his little keychain watch or his little
Pocket watch.
Yeah.
if needed, which most likely we're going to get information out of him. We need to find out who is behind all of this. Who's the pig mask girl? Who's stealing all these people's stuff? Who's the elf lady that dazes people and steals their stuff from right under them? And who's the coven? Or what's the coven?
As you're saying these things, and as you're just very blankly, you're just putting it all out there, they all seem hesitant. They're all kind of like, they can feel the pressure of these questions and what you're asking, and you're asking the hard questions. And so eventually, like, give me a persuasion check, but because you are so blunt about this, it has to be with disadvantage.
18.
Okay.
13 plus, so what do you say, persuasion?
Persuasion.
So that's 13 plus 3, 16, so it'd be the 16.
Okay. So with a 16, right, amongst them, you give me an insight check, if you please, people.
But while we're trying, man, with this, we can give you your not kettle steed, what's the mime's name?
Candlefoot.
Candlefoot's name, voice back. We can get Delagarde's son back.
All right. Insight checks.
17.
Nat 20.
21.
15.
You can tell that
Proficient.
Candlefoot looks extremely. He's keeping it together. So he looks very uncomfortable next to Kettlestein. They are not close. Kettlestein and Candlefoot, there's like this game of foot chess where they're never, like, Candlestein is never getting too close to Candlefoot.
Mm-hmm.
But Candlefoot remembers that there was a bird person that mocked him in his own voice. Might be the same one. You know? And it's like, it seems to be a very uncomfortable situation, but with a 16, I'm going to say that they, like, in the uncomfortableness of this, they're like, okay, we cannot help you do this the way you want us to do this because we have jobs here.
I understand that.
Okay.
That's why we're here. We need.
I understand.
We just need y'all to help
We
watch
can
and observe.
help be there.
Yeah,
Whatever you're doing,
we don't
can
need
be
you to
there.
grab the watch. We just need
We can
you
be around.
Yeah.
We can make a scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can help with a scene, but we cannot be the ones, and we can't be right there when it's happening. So,
I agree.
Like, we will fully support you, but you have to tell us what you want to do. And in this moment, right, it is now time for the Big Top event, right? People are shuffling in, and you hear the final calls. Get your seats. They're loading up, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like everyone has shuffled in, and you can tell that the board is set. The hour has begun. The Big Top extravaganza is in play. And you know that maybe not right now, but soon Mr. Rich will be near that body of water next to the Big Top. And you have to figure out maybe some type of plan. Do you just want to see what goes on? Do you want to try to interact with him? Right?
We need a distraction.
Distraction.
I was going to say we could get the siren to enchant him at the water to get his attention.
That's a hard no-go.
No.
She cuts you off right there.
Okay, then we can just do a distraction.
Okay.
You can go invisible and got great sleight of hand, right?
No, you're the sleight of hand guy.
I'm
the casty spell guy.
Who's got more than +3?
In what?
Sleight of hand. And you can go invisible?
I can turn him invisible.
Okay.
What kind of armor are you wearing? Cleric.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, leather armor.
Okay.
Okay, it's not.
It won't
I
be
can
this
give you that one, leather armor ain't no problem. So it seems like we've got a pretty good plan starting. So with that, we're gonna pick up next time with what looks like the sprouts of a plan that is taking root. Thank you for watching Self Critical, everyone. We are going to see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye.